army, good people of the city of Beaufort, my dear friends, it is indeed a pleasure and honor to be with you here this evening at this soiree, this festival celebrating the great city of Beaufort, South Carolina, and the United States of America! You know, of course, my friends, this evening I have somehow managed to put myself in the uniform that I had worn during the war. That of a general of division, a major general in the Continental Army. In truth, when I first heard of this noble cause of American freedom, my dear friend, Baron de Cole, who unfortunately had met his end at the Battle of Camden, not far from here, he was the one who first told me of this noble cause, of this cause of freedom. So I met with an American agent in Paris by the name of Silas Dean, and he bestowed upon me what he called a promissory note, promising that if I, the Marquis de Lafayette, were to come to America, I would be granted the rank of Major General in the American Army. Woo! So I went to my king, I asked permission, he denied me, but I went anyway! I purchased, indeed, bravo, monsieur, I purchased a ship called La Victoire and set sail across the great ocean. Of course, I've told this story multiple times today about my arrival right here in South Carolina! But, of course, I had to make my way to Philadelphia City, there to meet with Congress. Because in the American Army, Congress must endorse any rank of an officer in the American Army, whether he be a lieutenant, a lieutenant, or whether he be the commander-in-chief, General Washington. So there I was, standing before Congress with my promissory note. I said to them, kindly honor me so by granting me a command in the Continental Army that I too might fight against tyranny. And of course, what does Congress say?
No!
Bravo, you know my story well. Everyone says no to the Marquis at least once. But I was not prepared to return back to France. I would persevere. I would overcome. I would continue on. So I asked again, very well, you will not give me a command of soldiers, but perhaps you will allow me to serve as an aide-de-camp to General Washington. Yet again they say to me, I'm sorry, Monsieur le Marquis, but once again this is just not possible. Besides, we don't have enough money to pay you. Well, dear friends, I finally said boldly to your members of Congress, then I shall serve at my own expense. Woo! And would you know it, with those immortal words, your Congress immediately made me a Major General. Well, dear friends, it has indeed been an adventure. And this uniform that I would be given by Congress and by Washington, serving as a General of Division, a Major General, was in truth designed by Washington himself. And perhaps my colleagues could join me right next to me to show off their uniforms as well. Well done, my friends. So if you take note of this uniform designed by Washington, yes, you as well, of course, my friend. Come stand to my left. Well done. Let us applaud them for their fine terror. So when General Washington was asked to be Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army in June of 1775, he was already a member of the Fairfax County Independent Company, a member of the militia. And the uniform was blue with buff facings. Your facing colors are your lapels, your cuff, and your collar. So being the practical man he was, he simply wore that uniform to Congress. And when he was made Commander-in-Chief, of course, he adopted this style of uniform for all of his general staff. So even though I am a Frenchman, I had the honor and privilege to command American soldiers. Now, if you take note of this portion of my hat, it is called a cockade. The cockade, when worn by a soldier, is your national symbol. Initially, when the Americans declared for independence, their cockade was black. But unfortunately, the English had a black cockade as well. But when General Jean-Baptiste Donatien-Vimeur, le Comte de Rochambeau, the commander-in-chief of all French forces, had come to Newport, Rhode Island, as a show of solidarity betwixt the Americans and the French, he took his white cockade of France, combined it with the American cockade of black, and called it the Alliance cockade. And thus America and France became united! The plumette that rises from my hat shows that I am a general officer. No, I'm glad you're so impressed, my dear friend. Normally it would echo the colors of the cockade, black and white, but because in Virginia, in 1781, when I had the honor to command the Light Infantry Division, and being that the Light Infantry Division was an elite division, red is always associated with elite status. So thus the red tip of the Light Infantry Division commander, me, the Marquis de Lafayette. So, my dear friends, even though we have worn our uniforms from yesteryear, let us never forget the sacrifice that was made by so many. Those great people of South Carolina, those of the original 13 United States, and now of this great nation of 24 states, the United States of America! Thank you, my dear friends, for your hospitality, and let us enjoy the evening with dancing, drinking, and great conversation. Thank you, dear friends.